Hello, 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 you beautiful stars. Yes, we are live. Thank you all for being here. Happy Sunday. It's right in the middle of the day. You know what's interesting is I know nobody ever really shows up in the summertime, except some of these lovely people in here right now. I know in the wintertime, I know where everybody will be at Sunday at 2 p.m. I know that. Oh, hello, hello, hello. And August 1st is tomorrow. Yeah, it is. That kind of hit me this morning. For some reason, I've been feeling like I'm already like 3 weeks into August. Whew, because July kicked my butt. It kicked my butt. Hello, you beautiful stars. I had a very supportive conversation, actually, with our beloved Lucky Smith today. Very supportive, very lots of good food for thought that I might be bringing up today, and I might see where this goes. I did forget about the question about stargates, so I should probably approach that or, speak about that for a moment today. Today, today might be possibly one of my most controversial messages. Hello, David. Hello. I don't mean to do that, but today is metaphysical, esoteric, spiritual definitions. What is really happening and what are we saying when we say things? Do we even understand fully what we're talking about? So today might be a little controversial. That's all good. That's all good. There needs to be many sides to the story so all can be represented, right? That's how it works. That's how it works. So, hello, Gloria, who goes by Lori, Lucky, and David. Hello. Thank you for coming. I think before, I'm trying to feel out how I want to do this because I did have that wonderful conversation with Lucky. And so I have a lot of food for thought in my head. Why don't we talk about the energy of August? Not even all of August. Let's just talk about the next week. This is weekly goals, guys, and energy updates because all of August we're gonna step by step, baby steps. We're gonna breathe. We're gonna breathe. I did pull a card from the Sacred Geometry deck for all of today's message and also the energy that we're going to be walking into. Happy August, happy Leo season. Yes. And it is number 13. Maybe that'll be something we talk about as well today. Coherence. I will read just what it says here. The frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind for optimal ability to create the reality that we desire. I'm going to hold it up and then I'll probably talk about it for a moment. Number 13. Guys, 13, so people can know. That is actually can be a conscious level for us. Can be, if we so choose. But 13 actually does represent 1, 3, 4. 4 is when you get to like 13, that ultimate balance. It is that balance, that cosmic order and balance that we talk about in the Emerald Tablets. 13 is actually balance in your life, all of our lives. And so it's interesting that they made it on this deck, coherence, and how it is the frequency of the heart and the frequency of the mind coming together to create the reality we desire. It is a much higher conscious level and is the supreme cosmic balance. And this card's amazing. Within it, there's this little blue light. And as we saw on Friday, the masculine diamond, divine masculine card, that was a diamond, but all sorts of blue. Your masculine is your mind, really. Your feminine is your heart, but there's this little blue light then surrounded by massive heart. And then it goes out and out to all these little bubbles. Those are little bubbles in there. And other little glowing, are those diamonds or that? No, glowing spheres going out and out and out. This is a perfect card. This is a perfect card for right now. And number 13, you can't get better than 13, guys. You literally can't get better than 13. Hello, Mark. Good to see you. So we are headed into August. Not so much this week. Guys, this week, everybody, why don't we focus on our self-compassion, compassion for others, focus on self-care. I might actually start doing small videos about self-care techniques, focusing on that sort of stuff, because by the following week, we are going to very much need to be the observer. And we're going to talk about the observer aspect today. So this coming week, guys, it's as if the universe is kind of saying, hey, we're going to give you a week that is actually not as crazy as it can be. We're going to give you a week to relax. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, that usually by August, regardless of what's happening in the world and time, and talking about the energy is going to keep going through all of this. Usually by this time, as I speak a lot about how we're just like little batteries, us humans, and we absorb the light, we absorb the sun, we absorb. Many of us don't know how to then work with it and release it and send it out to other beautiful beings that need healing and love, or transmute it within ourselves for positive, productive lives. A lot of us don't do that or know how to. A lot of us, this is prime time. We're actually working a whole lot. It is the energy of the summer. It's work, because we have so much energy. It's actually how the cosmos kind of set it up, because we're supposed to be using all this energy to be most productive. But usually by August, everybody's losing their damn mind. They're not sleeping. Bickering starts happening, all sorts of stuff, right? I mean, we've all seen it. Usually by August, especially us in, I'm talking mostly the people in the in the northern hemisphere where the heat's going. And this summer has been exceptionally hot and hard on folks who are not normally used to it. So I believe this week at some point, probably Thursday, I'm going to do a small video as to how do we release all of this, because it will need to be released. I have a lot that I want to talk about today. And do remember, oh, Mark, you just reminded me, dreams were also on my list. If I can get to everything, I'm going to be talking about dreams as well, Mark. Awesome. And I will not forget that the question of Stargate came up because Lori/Gloria reminded me when I showed up here today. So I hope to get to Stargates. There's a lot to be talked about. And you can ask questions. It is the dog days of summer. Yes, ma'am, the dog days of summer. Yes, we're all tired because we're not sleeping, because we're not using this energy appropriately. So this week, there will be signs of, little nuances that might just, little jabs, little this, little that. Please just relax into self-care this week. It's going to be needed. Relax into it, release a lot of it. And like I said, Thursday, I'm going to be probably doing a lot of how to release so that weekend, next weekend, everybody can release and just release all the energy that's been building up. Hopefully, to move it towards a positive way, because there are great potentials in August with the energy that will be presented, not so much this week, the following week, definitely, and going forth, that there's great potential for a lot of drama. A lot of drama. That's what the energy has, a lot of potential there. Potential is exactly what that is. Do we dive right into that potentiality and go, yeah, let's feed the drama and be of drama and soak up all this drama and be even more drama, chaos, drama? Or do we take this week to reflect and let go and self-care? I am stable. I am whole. So when other people are experiencing that, when they don't know that's what's happening, we can be that observer. We can just go, okay, it's August, that's what the point is. August does have the potential, though, to suck us into drama. We're not going to allow it to happen. No. There's two things I want to bring up prior, and I think we might be going back to that card as well that I pulled prior, before I really get into the definitions and whatnot. First of all, on the lovely Milky Way Soul Tribe show last night, lovely Nina the Mystic was on, and Robert and her talked about a whole bunch of different stuff. But Nina said something very profound and good that I hope nobody actually loses on my channel, because I say a lot of stuff, guys. She said, well, we're here to live the human experience. And I was like, right on, sister. We are. So when I put requests out there saying be the star that you are, that is also part of the human experience. But we are definitely, folks, here to live the human experience. Period. That is what we're here to do. And we choose it. I know, it's crazy, right? Because the human experience has a whole lot of not the most pleasant. And many of you know my backstory and know it was definitely unpleasant. Let's say hence the number 13. Actually, I'll use the number 13 and my own personal experience to emphasize we are here to live the human experience, as well as becoming the stars that you are, because at this time in the cycle we're in, the energy is available, Aquarius coming, we have the potential to really become those stars and change all sorts of stuff. But we have to go through all these human experiences. Let's go back to 13 real quick. Let's do that. 13, the card that we pulled. Coherence. The frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind for the optimal ability to create the reality that we desire. 13, coherence. That ultimate perfect cosmic balance. 13 in reference to the human experience. I actually, for some reason, even as a kid, knew I loved 13. Some say it's, Friday the 13th, negative, and then some say lucky 13. It's what we make of it. It is that perfect balance. It's going to be negative. It's going to be positive. It's going to be how you see that. I was kind of obsessed, even at a young age of 13, before I even fully grabbed the scope of that powerful number, a conscious level we can get to. to the point that I have a 13 tattooed on my chest that I did. I think I was like 22 or something, guys. I mean, I was still a kid, not knowing how powerful the balance of 13 really is. In my personal human experience, I've had plenty of people, loved ones, die on the 13th. I was married on a 13th. I've had great jobs that the number attached to me for that job was 13. Balance, tragedy. My father died on a 13. My first beloved dog that really was mine as an adult died on a 13. So many 13s. At the same time, though, still married to the man. Our anniversary is a 13. Wonderful jobs. My tag, my whatever you want to call it, 13. There's been I could go into a whole lot of lists, but I'm trying to support like the massive, right? The big stuff. 13's huge. It is that balance of complete, positive, beautiful light and love, along also with that complete negative darkness night. It is the sun, it is the moon, it is the yin and yang, it is all of it. It is. And 13, because we are actually about to get into something after, actually, maybe I'll just go right into it. 13 is that cosmic balance. Yes. So, I did say this was going to be a little bit controversial, but I want to talk about it because maybe what do I want to start with, folks? I don't know. I think I'll just flow into that because it's apropos to what we were talking about, the balance. Today, we can pose questions in the chat. If I don't catch them right away, I did write down the Stargate one. Just maybe type it again or type it in bold, capital. But I do have some stuff to cover as well. Coming out of talking about that 13, the complete balance of mind and heart to create the reality we want, right? As our little geometry card just told us. I want to talk about fractal. I want to talk about the fractal movement. Yeah, this is going to maybe upset some people. It is yes, I will get back to Stargate, Gloria. Yes, I will definitely, I'm going to circle that. Fractal, that is a movement happening right now, well, for the past 2 or 3 years. I will let you guys know that a lot of this message as far as definitions, and we do have to be kind of careful as to what we focus on or what we start to practice. I'm going to talk a lot about the tricky nature of certain stuff and how it can be manipulated. So let's go into fractal, which actually really is the representation. That word. Okay, I'm just gonna start teaching. Fractal is the term used to represent all of these beautiful different, sacred geometry stuff that is represented within us, within all of creation, within all of the cosmos. Fractals, right? It is the word represents how all of these sacred geometries are touching each other and connecting to each other. It is supposed to represent, to teach us how all is connected, how all is one. The 13th balance. How all is connected, how all is one, the 13th balance. In nature, within us, within everything. This is where I get a little controversial. As I'm watching this grand movement of fractal this, fractal that, fractal this, it has become very apparent to me a few months ago, definitely, that beloved humans, everyone really, is taking that concept in they're taking that concept in ways that can lead to detriment. So I'm just trying to put a message out there to let's not be in harm's way with it. And I do believe when movements start happening, there are reasons for that. It's not just it might not just be the love and light is supporting it. It could also be very much being infiltrated. So a lot of people go, I'm a fractal of this, I'm a fractal of that, I'm a fractal of this, I'm a fractal of that, I'm a fractal. Okay. What happens though? And I have been watching this, guys. We are all fractals. Every single card in this deck lives within us, lives within the cosmos. That's why I say you are a star, lives within the stars. It does. It lives within you. And it's to teach us that there is no separation between us and anything else. We are just as mighty and as potent. But what I have noticed is that so many people are not seeing the forest through the trees. They're getting very stuck in these different trees that are different fractals, and they're trying to figure out what fractals make them up and what fractals who they are. And I'm a fractal of this, and I'm a fractal of that, and I'm a fractal of this. That, ladies and gentlemen, when we start getting lost in that, and we start trying to identify even more fractals and more fractals and more fractals, can lead to being fragmented. And I do believe that's backing some of this movement. When we are not focused on the whole, we become fragmented. And I believe most of the people here understand how that can become very detrimental. That actually, the bastard child of Sophia, they called the fragmented one, that he's the one who brought chaos. Here's an analogy as to why I'm just putting this message out, to focus on the whole of who you are and not so much the fragments. Because I will tell you, all sacred geometry, which is what that word is attached to, fractal, it's referring to the sacred geometry in this world of creation, lives within you, yes. But it becomes completely unbalanced, 13, coherence. It gets our mind and our hearts very confused if we focus too much of what we are a fractal of. You are a fractal of everything. It all lives within you. The cosmos lives within you. So this is my analogy as to how I take it in. I don't even use the term fractal, really. I don't. Okay, we're going to create a baby. Let's just create a baby for a moment, guys. Yeah, let's do it. We have a seed, or not a seed. Well, we have a sperm, seed, sure. We have a sperm, and we have an egg. That's how it happens, right? No matter how we try to make it not happen that way, that's how it happens. Sperm and egg come together. Oh, a baby starts growing. Sperm is a fractal. Egg is a fractal. Coming together, we're making a baby. We're slowly watching this baby grow. Do we hear the heartbeat? Fractal. All the little hands and the little legs, and this baby's growing. Fractals. Parts. And then we birth that baby. When that baby is a whole baby, and that baby is born, we're looking at, is this baby whole and well and healthy? Or are we still thinking about the sperm and the egg? Are we concentrating on the sperm and an egg anymore? No. We're looking at that whole beautiful, healthy baby. That's how I talk about fractals. Because if we keep going into how we are divided within, shit, the more we have the potential to become fragmented, mind, body, and soul. When we're working towards a whole, when we're working towards understanding there is actually no separation amongst any energy in all of the cosmos, land, us. All is all. All is energy. May it look different. Do my hands look different than my feet? Yes, they do. Are they a part of the whole me? Yes. Do I emphasize how they work for me and I use them to be me? That's how it works. So I know this is a little bit possibly, people are like, no, I enjoy the fractals. I enjoy figuring out who I am. Where would that stop? It couldn't stop. There'd be absolutely no way. When that term is attached to sacred geometry, there is no way that you would ever reach the end of knowing what all makes you. You are attached and a part of the whole. Fractal, tricky business, tricky thought patterns. It is tricky, folks. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I think that movement, because it's not like we never knew what a fractal was. I think that movement that came across, like that energy movement that kind of swept the land over the past 3 years or so, I think it is to keep us looking at the fragments. I'm going to say fragments, yes. Fragments within and around separation, getting us all sorts of not okay up here and in here, not the balance of 13. I do think that that has been infiltrated big time to keep that very much at the forefront. So you all are a most beautiful, perfect whole. Like when we create a baby, we no longer are thinking about the sperm and the egg. We care if that baby is whole and healthy. That's what I'm focused on. So yeah, sorry guys if that kind of sorry. I had to, because there's it's a tricky, it's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope. And let me tell you, that's how the mind control truly happens. As we all know, it's never in our face. It's all these slippery slopes that we have no idea that we're going down. And before I get into Stargate and a whole lot of other stuff, I want to ask a question. Actually, everybody that's here, I want to ask a question. And hello, Musgraves. It has been drawn to my attention that many of you understand Courtney works with pyramids. I do. I clearly have one right behind me. And as I have said in the past, I do end up taking my knowledge kind of for granted, but that's many lives in this life and a whole lot that I just forget in a way that I want to emphasize to people. Pyramids are extremely powerful. Extremely powerful, folks. Of course, you can always think of the pyramid of self-ascension. That is safe. Have your mind, body, and spirit intact as a stable, so you can be more potent. That is always good for everyone. But I do want to emphasize those who might think that they want to tap into doing like Egyptian science magic or start working with pyramids. I please emphasize first, if you are actually being drawn to it, you have to ask yourself that. Is this really how I'm being drawn? Because there's actually a lot of Celts out there, Celtic stuff out there that people need to, because that's not being utilized as much as it should. We're having another reinsurgence of Egyptian, which is awesome for me, but Egyptian science magic is very, very powerful, and it can go dark fast, especially for those who don't understand what's really going on or just stepping into it, because it's very, very powerful. So I want to emphasize, take what you hear here and leave the rest. If it is not for you, keep coming, keep listening, keep learning, but don't jump right into things. And somebody reminded me of like when Rex on Leak Project years ago did a whole thing about how powerful pyramids are. Like he put one in his house and he was like, taking all these meters of the energy coming off to the point that him and his wife had to kind of take it down because it was that intense. It's not for everybody. There's a whole lot of different forms of science magic out there. Like I said, there's a lot of people that should be going more Celt because that's the route for them. There are people that can handle Egyptian. Egyptian is some powerful, crazy stuff there, and there's a lot to learn in it. A lot of trials and tribulations. There's a whole lot of stuff. There's a lot of different options for people. And the question I do want to pose to everyone is the pyramid that is behind me. Are any of you, you can just write yes or no in the comments here in the chat. I would appreciate it. Are you feeling power coming off of that pyramid? That is what I would like to know first. So just a yes or no. It's okay if it's a yes. It's okay if it's a no. There are no actually wrong answers there. Yes, no. Okay. The reason I do ask is because, okay, thanks, David. Because I have many listeners, and some listeners are going to be more sensitive than others. Some are going to be okay if there's power coming off of it. Some are not going to be okay if there's power coming off of it. So I need to kind of take a poll, which I can't even set that up on here yet. Need them 500 subscribers. To find out if it's beneficial or possibly harmful to others, because I don't want, sometimes it's down and sometimes it's up, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be up for me all through August because I'm going to be taking all the energy that's available and collected that I can collect as I am just a vessel, and I'm going to be sending it back out. That's why it's back up. I took it down in July though, man. I was not handling July at all. I was not even handling just July energy, period, let alone being under a pyramid. So I just wanted to kind of take a quick little okay. Okay, so Musgraves. Okay, thank you. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. I will be looking into that because once again, we are here for the human experience. And I want to emphasize that. Take always what resonates with you and learn and grow and work with it. And everything else you just put aside. That you're indifferent to it. There's okay. But do know Egyptian magic is tricky. It can be. It can go what we would say dark real fast. If the person does not know of their own power, does not hold themselves in their own power, and if they don't know what they're doing. Yes. And I use a hodgepodge of all sorts of stuff. So, but I am very fond of pyramids. But I also know how to send it all out. I know how to heal with it, and I know how to send it all out. Let's talk about Stargates then for a minute. Because, hey, why not? We're there. We're in Egypt. We're in Stargates. Hey, and that was a question that was posed, I think, by Robert V on Friday. I can't remember what we were reading. Oh, because in the Emerald Tablets Revealed, we were talking about like spaceships and the pyramid and all sorts of stuff. That's right. Oh God, that can be a very big answer. Just like how you are a whole of all the fractals within, a whole, a part of the cosmos, a whole, a part of all of creation. You also are a Stargate. I will say though, as many, when they think of Stargates and talk about Stargates, that's the whole point of actually the Emerald Tablets. Actually, I'm going to stop myself. That's the whole point of the Emerald Tablets and all those keys that we're reading, all those tablets we're reading. He's trying to tell you, you are the Stargate. You are just as powerful. You can defeat space and time and travel around. You can conquer the halls of Amente and be able to go back and forth all over the place. He is. But let's talk about how everybody interprets Stargates. Is CERN a Stargate? That I know that's what everybody's wanting to know. Is CERN a Stargate? I think that was actually Robert, where that came from with Robert. CERN. I am on YouTube. Are they using that as a Stargate? In the idea of a lot of people consider Stargates as time travel. You know, like a wormhole time travel. You're over there. Kind of like the old movie Stargate, which was one of my favorites, the original. Which is also true. Same as you're capable of doing that. CERN is actually a mixture of a few different things. Are they trying to use it as a Stargate as well? Yeah. But I will tell you guys, they already understand Stargates. So that's not the main point of CERN. They already understand Stargates, and that's like old school to them. That's not anything new to them. CERN, though. CERN is capable of pulling energy, not just from the plane of existence that we know of. CERN is able to pull the energy from the matrix, the entire matrix. It is pulling energy from the matrix to, various reasons why they do this. It can start to break down the matrix, which then the veil starts coming down is in ways that we can explain, best understand. We will have a whole lot more of what we are perceiving as interdimensional beings that are like, whoa, what are you doing in my yard? Because it can break down our current sight of the matrix. That is one of the goals. So it's not really so much of a portal. It is the sucking the energy. Actually, this is twofold. Sucking the energy to break it down so things can be moving back and forth very easily. Also, it is somewhat of a portal, but please don't think of it as a portal as far as going to the other, going in time and space like that, like a time travel. It is more of, how do I explain this? Oh, that's how I can explain it. It's like a void or like a wormhole. You guys all know science enough, because I'm trying to figure out how to explain this. We all understand science enough. Oh, hell, your vacuum. Think of your vacuum, your Hoover across the pond. Your Hoover. Think of it that way. So it's pulling from our current sight of the matrix, because I do have to get into dimensions today. Our current sight of the matrix, and it's able to pull from that and suck it through as if it's kind of like a vacuum, a wormhole. It's all to break down and break down and break down. And it's pulling on us. It's pulling on us. It's pulling on a lot of things. As far as them time traveling and using portals, time travel, they already have all that stuff. This is to break down the matrix, because the matrix that we are in also holds all the potential for us to override what they're doing. It's for ultimate power. That's really what they're doing. It's ultimate power by breaking down these different dimensions, sucking up the one we're in the 3D. That's why we got to get out of the 3D, guys. Sucking the one that we're in for more terror, more fear, more this, more that. The veils are coming down to suck this away and leave us with really horrible shit. That is what CERN's about. And it's because they feel as if they need to for, yes, more captivity, but also because in our 3D, there's also 4 dimension, 5 dimension, that we have all of the energy and capability of vastly changing all of this. But they make it so much harder as they keep pulling and sucking and breaking down the energy fields for us to use. That's for me personally, that is the main thing of CERN. It is not so much, a portal or time travel machine. That's what they're going to tell you. That's fucking bullshit. They already have that. They already have it. So that's not the point. It is that powerful that it can suck that energy straight out of the matrix. Okay, well, the matrix of our 3D existence, because, there's other dimensions, which I guess we're going to have to talk about for a moment. How is everybody doing? How are you, beautiful stars? What are we thinking here? Yes, like a black hole. Yes. Like how science will talk about if you get too close to a black hole, it just sucks you in. Like a vacuum. They're doing that to our matrix system, to not just the energy within us and the energy we feel like turning on our lights and our lamps, but literally the energy that creates the 3D, even a bit of the 4 matrix. Oh, man, those people. And I will tell you, was that last Sunday? Last Sunday, what would have been in the middle of the night for me, like 2, 3 in the morning or something. Oh, I think they turned it on quick. Shit. I don't know if I had ever seen it like that. That they were straight up. I could see the matrix breaking down. Do. Like the movie. Like I could see it like all of a sudden broken down and stuff was coming through. That happened last Sunday. That is the main goal. I will tell you, I won't give names, but I did an Akashic record reading for someone the past week ago, and that is going to end up being one of her spiritual gifts, is that she's going to be able to very identify interdimensional beings, and we're going to need more people that are capable of doing that, more capable of people that can see the interdimensional portals. We're going to need those people. So I was very happy to do that reading and find out that she was one. What I mean by portals. Think of all those 411 cases that it's like, oh, somebody's walking in the woods, just walking along, they're doing fine. They're gone. They just literally just disappeared. Whoa. And then all of a sudden they reappear 2 years later in a completely different area. Or they reappear in the same area, but they have like a different cell phone and a different this and a what the 411 cases, right? I know we all know what I'm talking about. They are stepping into interdimensional portals. Same as how Bigfoot is walking around, stepping into different dimensional portals. I know we are all intelligent beings. That kind of stuff. When they continuously suck down or suck in, making a void of our current matrix that people are walking around in, that kind of stuff, much more frequent. Also, like I said, beings being able to very much just kind of come and go as they please. If you want to, a lot of us may not believe in it, but it is one of the main references we can speak to about all that crazy stuff in the Revelations. Creatures all over the place, this and that happening. That's how. Yeah. So, all right. So we talked about CERN. That is not a Stargate, really. That's a whole nother nasty mamma jamma. They already know how to time travel and do all other jazz. You are a Stargate. The pyramid right behind me is a Stargate. Your pyramid of self-ascension can lead to you understanding how you are a Stargate. All of the emerald tablets that we're reading, and he is saying you are space-born. You can travel wherever you want. You can get all of the knowledge. You can go wherever the hell you please. You can do what you want to do. That is what Stargate really means. It is not like the movie, which is an awesome movie and show. It is not like that. Stargate really means the more wisdom you obtain, the more you practice all these things, the more you understand that you are actually one with the cosmos. You're a whole attached to the great whole, because the whole is no greater than the sum of its parts. The whole is the sum of its parts. We are just a part with many parts within us that is of the whole. So you're a Stargate. I'm a Stargate. Everybody's a Stargate. That's what that back in the day. Oh, I want to say something. Piggybacking off of what, because Lucky had written something in the chat last night on the Milky Way Soul Tribe show with Nina, and it was actually very good. And he and I actually spoke about it for a moment today. I don't know why, well, I kind of know why, and Lucky really backed it up. He's such a brilliant man. Everybody tends to think of giants as like big and bad. The Nephilim eating our heads, like big and bad. Lucky made a point in that discussion last night on the Milky Way Soul Tribe. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. Robert's a great man doing great stuff. Oh, I think I'm actually on it tonight. Check it out. Not all giants were bad. Not all giants were these huge, insanely and gross Nephilim crazy people, right? That word, though, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because Stargate originally meant something vastly different than what Hollywood attached to it. Like same as like giant. Giant originally means, and maybe if Lucky's here, he can type it all in. It really always meant great, powerful beings or men, human, us ladies too. Powerful, wisdom. As we would say, he was a giant among men. That's where that term comes from. Not as if he was 11 feet tall. It is actually a measure of, first, it was a measure of power. Then it became also attached to, whoa, these people are huge. They are 11 feet tall. Not all of them are bad. Not all of them are bad. So, same as how, and Ryder has that great program, Raised by Giants, because he knows he's being raised by all of us. Because giant actually means wisdom and power within you. So actually, if you want to see yourself as anything, you can see yourself as a giant star gate. That's how you can see yourself. I had a couple more things. Are there any other questions before I keep going? Because I might drop some of this stuff and just talk about dimensions for a minute. All right. I'm just going to keep going. All right. Let's talk about dimensions. And I think most of us do understand this because we're all intelligent here and we've learned enough history or enough science. Yeah, layers, man. Layers. You know what I should talk about? What is on my arm? Ooh, scary stuff on my arm. Okay. The only way I can have dimensions on top. I want to talk before I go into something. I think I know what I'm going to end this with. Oh, but I did say I would talk about dreams. Mark, do you want me to talk about dreams? Because you were talking about how you've been having crazy dreams, which a lot of people, August will bring crazy dreams. Yay. As most of you know, dimensions on top of dimensions on top of dimensions. Dimensions are also conscious levels. There are some dimensions that are perfectly fine. They're just a bit askewed from us. There are some dimensions that are of nasty, insane stuff. There are some dimensions that are actually probably pretty nice. So, why I was going to bring up the dimension thing, not so much because of CERN. I didn't even know I was going to do that one. Is because of the higher self aspect. I know I've talked about this before, but I need to kind of make it clear because we do need to be so much of an observer in August. Oftentimes, when people say, oh, I'm talking with my higher self or I'm tapping into my higher self, there are different variations of selves. There is the higher conscious level, higher self that we do now. It is open and available that if you want to be a seventh dimension observer, seventh dimension observer, you can. You could be watching your fifth dimensional self and your fifth dimensional self witnessing and watching the third dimensional self. That is open and capable for all of us now. The energy is present. Those conscious levels is more so your higher self than not, because that is attached to your current timeline conscious level. There's also an element of that is your higher self is just your future self. Yourself at 70, yourself at whatever age you might be. Hell, yourself in 5 years is your future self. That is also your higher self because we're always learning, growing, and developing. I talk all the time with Courtney, who is like 62. Because I don't listen as well, and she knows I don't. But she's way more calm. Her fire has been able to calm down than I. So I get a lot of advice from myself at 62. Right? But what happens often is people go into these meditations, especially if they just Google them. Google. They go into these meditations to speak to their higher selves, learn from their higher selves. And what happens there is we end up not talking so much to our higher selves. We end up talking to another dimensional self. Most people, and here we go, Mark, in dreams, especially in dreams, become aware of at least 2 to 3 other who you are self in other dimensions. So oftentimes in these meditations that we just kind of, oh, I'll try this one, blah, 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 we actually end up communicating with another dimensional self. But because they appear to have their shit together, or they know other stuff, or they know different than us, we end up interpreting that as, oh, that's my higher self. They know a lot. They don't know any different than, they know different than you, but they don't have another degree of knowing. They know of their world, but because it's different, a little similar, but different, we take that on as like, wow, that higher self is all knowing. That happens very often. You can still communicate with them, but you have to acknowledge that is not your higher self. That is another dimensional self. I actually have 2 Courtneys that I talk to. I have one who is like all very business-like, suits, and I mean, she's running it. She's doing it, right? She's got a whole lot of her shit together. And here's the thing, somebody in one of the chats the other day had a dream about a kid that they were going to have and blah, blah, blah. The only reason I can speak about this stuff is I had to learn it at a young age, what was going on, because I had a very deep meditation. I'm presented with like a husband and a child and all this stuff. And wow, she's in a business gear and she's great. And she's, whoa, who is this powerful Courtney? It's not me. It wasn't me. It was her. I've seen her life. I was watching all that was going on with her. I don't have a child. And I surely am not having one now. I had a hysterectomy. It's not mine. I have another Courtney who's a little bit shorter. She's very much of a hippie. She's very much of a hippie. And I mean like hippie, guys. I mean, she's like dirty farmers markets, hasn't showered in a long time. And I don't mean dirty. If you guys are all hippies out there, that's great. But I mean like she doesn't shower often. She's very old school. The true definition of like hippie. Great girl. You know why I go to her? She does know about plants and growing vegetables and herbs and all sorts of stuff that I don't have that knowledge. I don't. I go to her for that kind of stuff. That's who she is. Cool. She's also single, can't hold a relationship together to save her life. So therefore, she's not a higher conscious. She's got her own faults. So does the one who works way too much in those business suits. She's got her own faults. I've got my own faults. We get them very confused, thinking they are our higher selves. They are not. We tend to, like I said, we first often meet them in dreams and or deep meditations. Most people do come to know, especially if they're open to finding out, they will know of 2 or 3 of them. I also, like I said, there are worlds out there that are not perfect and good. There is a world that I am in, a version of myself, who is also married to the husband. There's a version of Brad in that life too. That is the most darkest place I think I've ever traveled. I mean, horribly dark. I actually unexpectedly went there once, and I was sacrificing an elephant. Not a good place. That type of place is the type of place they're trying to bring in. Not a good place to be. So if the dream ends up being very real, if the dream is like, whoa, what is this? What is this world? Why are we covered in blood? You know, shit like that. That literally could be one of those dimensions. and that is you in that dimension. That's not who you are here. That's how things are playing out over there. I'm actually very powerful in that dimension. We actually live in a very big, like, dark castle thing in that dimension. It's really bad. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. But I'm me over there. I'm me here. That's what I'm saying. These are all interdimensional stuff. So please, when we start to talk about, we have to be the observer, because that's going to be needed in August. Focus not on that, not on the stuff that seems familiar enough that it's like, I don't think this is coming from a higher frequency of consciousness. This is just another dimension. Higher frequency of consciousness, vibes up, does have that layer of distance with the observer. And we can get there. We can, all in August, especially if we use this week for self-care. Self-care. We love ourselves. Especially if we use this week for that, the following few weeks, we can just kind of hang back. We do not have to engage. We do not need to put our input, We do not need to allow the fear to come in, because it's all an illusion. It is all to get our minds thinking that way, because our minds, our consciousness, we are actually creating it. Too bad that we don't realize that. So we can just observe from a higher current, who we are now, higher conscious level of, I do not need to engage in this. That is the best way to tell ourselves. Oh, yes, Musgraves, I agree. That's why whenever somebody starts talking about golems, I back way the hell away. I back way the hell away. Yeah, I don't do nothing like that. And most of the stuff I do, guys, is either for me, like I'm taking care of me and mine, or I will participate to take care of the many. I was talking to Lucky today, as far as it is very hard for me to just see one-on-one. I do see the all. I very much see the all. So I will say, yeah, I've never gone down with golems and never would, and I don't think anybody should. I'm going to end with dreams, and I think I'm going to hold, because I did want to talk about the astral and the ethereal, but I'm probably going to hold that off for maybe another day, maybe another time. Dreams, ladies and gentlemen. Mark, you brought this up, and I'm glad you did. A lot of August is going to be a lot of dreams. Let's talk about it just for a moment. I just said you could be meeting your other dimensional self in dreams. So just be with your intuition. You can also meet them in meditations. They're not so much your higher consciousness. They just know differently. We have to have discernment, folks. We have to have discernment, and we have to understand these terms, and we have to understand there's layers to these terms. So dreams, though. Dreams can be a mixture of things. They are not always signs and omens. I really want to make that clear. They are not always signs and omens. They're not. You will know if it is a message you need to have. Usually that last little bit right before you wake up, like a voice says, pay attention, or it becomes very vivid and then you wake up, or it's lingering, like, oh man, okay, maybe I should write this down or pay attention, sort it out with my morning coffee. Like, that's the stuff you pay attention to. Most of the time, though, that's not all the time, ladies and gentlemen. In August, that will be going on, though. So pay attention. There will be signs, omens, things you need to know. in August. But most of the other time, our subconscious is working more when we are sleeping. It is working stronger and harder and more powerful when we are sleeping than ever when we're awake. So most of the time, our dreams is our subconscious filtering out all of the subliminal messages, all of the crap we don't need to hold on to anymore, all the fears and insecurities, all the trauma, all the this, all the weirdness, it is filtering it out for us so we don't have to try to do all that ourselves. But then we have these weird old dreams and we're like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Sometimes a dream is just a dream. Seriously, it is just a dream. Let your subconscious do its job. Thank your subconscious for it. Thank it. Go, okay. Whew, thank you. Because clearly my conscious couldn't handle all that. That is what is, guys, really 8 out of 10 times, that is what's really happening with all those wild dreams. It is your subconscious working very strong, very powerful on your behalf. Because we can't carry that crap with us. In August, though, there will be a lot of messages, a lot of signs through dreams. So I'm glad you did bring that up. You can start a dream journal. You can just go as big and as deep as you want with it. The energy of all of August is going to present that, though. I actually don't even work with dreams all that much. I just don't. But in August, I am going to probably have to pay attention. So, and it has already somewhat started for those who work more on that, or like the artist kind, the water babies, all you water signs, the dreams are going to start coming big time. So work with them. They are, for all of the plus and minuses, 13 of the balance for you to learn from. I'm going to end this with 13 again. The card, 13, coherence. The frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind for an optimal ability to create the reality we desire. Thursday, as I show you this picture, I'm going to teach probably a quick little short video as to how to focus the energy that you are taking in right now. Focus it out. Focus it into creation. I am going to do that with a few little reminders of self-care. Oh, so my beautiful beloveds, beautiful stars, I will sound out. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for listening. I didn't think I was going to be talking about CERN, so I'm a little bit, if you can't tell, it's like, oh, YouTube, don't give me a slap in the face with that CERN stuff. So I hope you all well. If you're across the pond, have a wonderful evening or night, and everyone else, I will see you later. Remember, guys, if you enjoy what you hear here, take what resonates, leave the rest, consider donating. The PayPal link is below. It's the last little link I put there. And share with others. There is a powerful movement going on with people who actually understand that they are stargates. So I love you guys. Namaste. I bow to you. I honor you. Namaste, you beautiful stars. Cheers. Bye, guys.